Laurel, I'm excited to have this conversation with you. Maybe just quick introduce yourself.
My name is Laurel Legate. I've been a realtor for 5 years with North Group for two, and I'm based out of South Etobicoke. I try to do a lot of business in Long Branch.
So, and that's where you live and your family is, and you kind of have like your whole community business building in that area, right?
Absolutely. I like to say I live where I live. I do my business where I live. My kids go to school. We support the local businesses, and I just love it down here.
I like that line. I've never heard that before. I live where I live. That should be your new slogan.
Totally.
I
Live
like
where you live with Laurel Legate.
very, very L flowing. Um, Super impressive. The real estate market in the Toronto area, especially, but pretty much all over the continent, is down in most areas a minimum of 15 to 20%. And you achieved your annual goal this year in a down market. What do you attribute that to?
2023 was a great year, but it was wild. I worked with all types of people. I worked with investors, I worked with first-time home buyers, I worked with downsizers, I worked with a lot of upsizers too. It's been it's been a challenging market. But there's still a lot of people that have big life moments and experiences. And thankfully, I was able to work with a lot of these people because I I really think what it attributes to is because I'm consistent. I've
Mm.
always been consistent in what I do. It's part of my personality. I have a lot of habits that I work on every single day. Some I do more often than others, but I do perform like a morning ritual, a morning routine every day, and it involves things like being grateful, doing my research on MLS, following up with clients, doing lead generation every single day, and making sure I'm on top of the trends. So when I have someone that I know is looking for something specific, I know right away when it comes up, I can help service them. And a lot of the clients I worked with this past year too were looking to sell a small home and buy a bigger home. And that doesn't just happen like that because there's a type of property that you need to do that. So I'm always just consistently looking and on top of everybody in my database.
I think that that is a great word to describe you and how you operate in life personally and professionally. And it's one of the things that I really admire about you is your consistency. And
Thanks.
I think it's I think it's a piece that has contributed towards your success because it's not like you haven't had any challenges personally or professionally in 2023. Like everybody does in some capacity. And you've gone through some difficult times, even in the last number of years. Outside of consistency, what else do you think is the determining factor that lends towards your success, no matter what challenges or what's going on in your life?
I think there's a lot that plays into it. A couple things. I'm a pretty self-motivated person. I've been
Mhm.
in 100% commission sales since I was 26 years old. That's almost 20. No, it was 17 years ago, not 20.
Oh,
But I know
five.
as an
Wow, you look amazing.
I know that as an entrepreneur, you get out of your business what you put in. So
Yeah.
that's number one. I'm self-motivated and I have a drive to just keep going. But I also am highly emotional and seek community.
Mm.
And in 2022, that's why I called you and joined North Group. So I would say being self-motivated, being in community and being around like-minded people who support and drive and hold you accountable.
I love that you said that you get out of it what you put into it because I think that goes for every, whether it's a business or a personal relationship.
Yeah.
And I think often we look for a team or we join a team because we think it's going to solve all our problems or it's going to bring all the solutions to our business or it's going to generate all this opportunity, but in fact it's a true partnership, which is what I love about our relationship and how the framework we built North Group on, that this is a platform. This is a platform that agents can plug into, but like you just nailed it where you said like you're going to get out of the North Group platform or out of your business or out of your entrepreneurial journey exactly what you're willing to put into it.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with that.
And like you said, it's no different than any of your personal relationships too. The grass isn't greener, the grass is green where you water it.
Right. I know. I love that. I absolutely love that line. As a team, we're huge on accountability. I know that you are personally, like you just said, you're super self-motivated, and you can't be that if you're not self-accountable. As a team, we're really accountable to ourselves and to each other, but how are you staying motivated and accountable to yourself? So you admitted you're a very self-motivated person, but you don't always stay there, like especially during dips or especially during difficult times. So what keeps you on that path?
I think that the thing that keeps me going and drives me to just get up, maybe if I don't want to, or pick up the phone call if I don't want to, is I think having a desire to, well, there's a lot of things. Like if my why, I don't want to be cheesy, but my why is my family, and I set an example for my daughters, and I take time for myself when I need it, but got to keep going. Um, but in
Can I
other
ask
instances, I also, yeah,
can I ask you a
absolutely.
question? Did you come from a family where you like, is there something driving that desire for you to provide a certain level or certain lifestyle for your kids?
It's all about being able to spend more time together.
I see.
And if you ask that question, so what's your why? I want to earn XYZ this year. Why? And you get down to the bottom, and it's always so we can spend more time together.
Yeah. Freedom, right?
Financial freedom, well, that's my manifestation for 2024.
I love it. The majority of your business personally comes from your like your local community. You mentioned that you live where you live in South Etobicoke, which is a suburb of Toronto. I know we can't get too deep into it, but if you had a piece of advice for any real estate agent that is either thinking about hyper local community building, farming, targeting a specific area, or isn't seeing results yet, because we both know it takes forever to see results that way, what would you suggest?
Don't quit.
Mm,
And if you don't have a budget to send weekly flyers like a lot of people do, then just use what you have available to yourself that's affordable. Like you have a lot, if you might have a lot of time on your hands, you can spend time in businesses, you can spend time on social media, you can share and engage online, whether it be Instagram, Facebook. Um, there's so many ways you can do a community-based business without spending a lot of money. And when I first started, I was taking listings wherever I could, but now this year I've been able to really focus on South Etobicoke, and it's because I've stayed consistent. At first, I was afraid that, niching down to a specific neighborhood would leave me out of other conversations, but it's actually given me much more than I ever thought it would. So what I would say is don't quit, be consistent, and share in the community. Really be a part of the community.
has your let's just talk about that mindset, because I'll admit that I've had that mentality at times too, where you think that if you know what they say, like if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one, especially in social,
Mhm.
right? So if you're niching down on a specific area, are you missing or eliminating certain other buyers or sellers, maybe from your network or for like through referrals, et cetera? How have you worked through that? Because your messaging is so strong, or do you just not care? Like if that opportunity doesn't present itself because you're so focused on local.
Well, I was fortunate to work with a lot of people outside of my specific neighborhood that I talk a lot about this year. So it didn't actually eliminate business. People, as long as I'm providing value and in contact with people, I think that the trust, they trust me to work with them in different neighborhoods. And it's not about
Mm-hmm.
really saying I only want to work in Long Branch, but I'm an expert here. And I think you should hire an expert when you're selling in Long Branch.
And I like what you said about the value piece of it, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you are constantly delivering market knowledge and market value. Um, and yeah, you live where you live in Long Branch, but that level of knowledge translates to the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area.
Yeah,
Obviously.
absolutely.
Got it. Okay.
Absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
That's okay. I'm good.
Okay. So if you could have one real estate career redo, what would it be?
I was thinking about this question because you'd asked me that yesterday, and I'm like, no, I'm good, and everything happens for a reason. But you know what? My answer would truly be if I could have started 10 years ago instead of 5,
Mm.
because I love it. I love what I do. I love being able to help people reach their real estate goals. I love being able to do it while being a mom, and that's what I would have done. I would have started sooner.
So your message then, if somebody's listening to this, if they're thinking about a career in real estate, just jump right in, because most often and I'm the exact same. My number one regret would be, why didn't I do this sooner? So
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah,
totally, 100%.
absolutely. I think that, like, I have a lot of people ask me, like, should I get into real estate? And the answer isn't always yes.
Mm.
Let me preface that
Oh,
because
I agree.
it's not easy. But yeah, I would have started earlier.
Last piece of advice for anybody who is considering or looking at partnering with a real estate team, what would you say the most important thing is that they need to ask in an interview, or to be looking for if they're looking at teams?
That's a hard question because I think everyone goes into doing their research on which brokerage or team they want to join based on different circumstances. I think that the the biggest key for me would be finding out what their values are, like
Mm.
what their manifesto, what their culture is like, because that's going to say a lot about how they operate, whether they value education, accountability, anything over one another. Because really, it comes down from that culture and how a team works. I thought it was very important for me to, when I joined North Group, to see what type of people work there, how they work together, and what they provided as value for team partners. But at the end of the day, for me, it was culture.
I love that.